consistently and regularly. And now you just remember to put out an advisory about events that happen in Haiti. We've been doing that for months. And the ministry is far off course in informing and advising the Bahamians. You can't wait for them. We need a national government that's going to act very quickly if Bahamians are in danger anywhere on the planet, but that's not happening with our government. And I'm very disappointed. I'm sorry about the families who've lost 3 of their members. And I'm not going to get into any speculation on anything, what they were doing or not doing. I'm not into that. That is a matter for the investigators to look into. But the point is, losing relatives on the high seas or near a coastal area is not the best thing, no matter what you might think about them or speculate about them, because this is the problem in us as a people. I heard someone saying some very offensive remarks on another radio station about Bahamians. And Bahamians, we have to be very careful of that because it goes out to the outside world. And when they think about Bahamians, they're not thinking just about those particular personalities. That's the entire nation. Even when we have strangers and foreigners and aliens and outsiders committing criminal acts in our borders, they say that's Bahamian. And it isn't true, you know. If every Bahamian was like Professor Sidney or Walter Thompson, you would have never had a murder in 52 years, 7 months and 7 days, because today is the 8th day in our 53rd year. I got to get the count right now. You wouldn't have had no murders, but we had one today. Person going getting water from the pump. And then some people, I think this is West Street and Patton Street, if I'm not mistaken. And the culprit headed north, meaning they were heading toward Meeting Street or even Bay Street. The point is that we have too many killings in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, and we seem not to know who is doing what. And Bahamians, this is a very serious issue that is affecting Bahamian families. I don't like it at all. We're losing too many men, Bahamians. That's another man who is dead. Another one who could pay national insurance. He can't pay no more national insurance anymore. That means we lost that one. And Bahamians, who keep going like this, national insurance may have to put out an announcement at some future time. I hope it never comes, because a lot of you out there who have paid into that national insurance fund, you want to get your benefit. I know a particular family member of mine who was looking for that benefit, and every time I get my own check, I remember that particular personality. And some sadness comes over me. I said, this particular family member worked so hard and was looking forward to that national insurance check every month and didn't live long enough to get the first installment. So every time that check rolls in, I think about that particular family member. And a piece of sadness comes over me. So Bahamians, we got to keep our people alive and well so they can contribute to the fund. Because Bahamians depend on that. I understand the banks are crowded when people know that that check's supposed to be out. And they're crowding the teller machines, and that's understandable because people are depending on that money. Now, we have to find a way to create revenue for our people, because the check is not just sufficient to take care of people's needs. It's a help, and I think a lot of people who get it appreciate it. I don't know of anyone who doesn't appreciate it, because people are looking forward to it every month. But be that as it may, it's a safety net set in by the Pinling administration many years ago. Some people were against it in those early years, but now you're beginning to see how important that fund is to the Bahamian people. But unfortunately, we are sharing it with too many strangers and foreigners and aliens and outsiders. The fund was never designed for them, but they're encroaching on it. And Bahamians, that is something we have to wake on. Now, the open line is open today, 326-0272, 813-0271. Bahamians, we want to hear from you. Anything you want to discuss about national issues, and there are so many, all kind of national issues. The two major ones, in my view, are the immigration issue and citizenship. There's a difference between the two, immigration matters and citizenship. Citizenship is a very serious one because we have so many people say they want to be naturalized. And unfortunately, those in authority are acting ultra vires the Constitution by giving out scraps of paper and labeling them citizenship documents. But we're going to fix that one. That one can get fixed. It has to be stopped, Bahamians. And people who were on the registration, the voter registration list, and are applying for citizenship. You any crap like that? Something's wrong with that, Bahamians. Now we fear a whole lot of people who are being let out of the United States who purportedly left from this country to go there. And people are afraid of an influx of people who may be coming this way. And God is able to take care of that very easily. So we have to trust in God. I keep saying to you, Bahamians, you get so fearful about some situations you have no control over. So you do what you have to do as a faithful and loyal citizen of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. See, God knows who the strangers are, you know. He knows who the culprits are better than you and me, better than the police, better than our security forces. He knows just what to do with them. Are we prepared to trust God in our national affairs? Because I don't hear that in any conversation, even with talk show hosts who have so much to say and callers who have so much to say, and they have a right to their view. I'm not knocking that. The Constitution says they can freedom of expression, freedom to impart ideas and opinions without interference, but the opinions and ideas don't have to be factual. That's what you need to understand. They could be talking a lot of crap. And so when a person calls this show and say, Professor, that's my opinion, I can't say nothing about that. I just leave it alone. I won't even comment on it, particularly if you're talking a pile of crap. But the point is, the Constitution allows for it. Now, when you come on this show and you come to tell me that the crap you're talking about is constitutional, that's where I draw the line. Because I ain't letting you go nowhere. I'm ready to cut you off right away. Because that I will not tolerate under no circumstances. If you want to express an opinion, a view, fine. I don't have a problem with that. But do not pretend as if it is constitutionally sound, because that's going to end the conversation right there. Because some people have an agenda to mislead and deceive people. It is most important that we give you factual information, and there's a whole lot of stuff I'm looking at right now. And the team is working with me, and you have to analyze a whole lot of things, and even sometimes you have to question what the team may do. As if, where did you get this from? They may not be as sharp as I am. As when you get as young as I am, is a whole horse of a different color. You think differently, Bahamians. You don't let anything slide. You see things others don't see. There are many, many problems that afflict the Bahamian people, and too many of you are looking at it on the surface. And you think everything is okay. It's not okay, Bahamians. We have some deep-seated problems that go 52, 53 years and more deep, never been solved. They've gotten deep-rooted in our country. It's very difficult to get it out. And I'm thankful for those of you who listen to the show and you tell me how you're enjoying the show and all of that. That's why I'm going to call on you to support it, because there are some things, Bahamians, that has to be done, and it requires the collective support of people to make it happen. Because someone called me yesterday, I won't say who it is, but the point is this particular personality spoke to me off air, and I listened to that particular personality. But there are things you can do, even if you feel you might not be comfortable letting your voice be heard on air. Don't worry about that part. I could take care of that part if you worrying about that. All we need is your support. We could get things done. Your strong financial support. I'll find the people. I'll find the team. You ain't got to worry about that. And what has to be said, Professor Sidney McArthur, Walter Thompson knows just how to say it, and when to say it, and why he needs to say it. So that part is covered. And I keep saying to people all the time, Bahamians got to wake up quickly, because we are about to run into some very serious issues that will rock this nation like it has never been rocked before. We're going to get in some very turbulent waters, Bahamians, before it's all over. And God may very well let us go through those turbulent waters to wake us up, because, see, God has given us 52 years to change. 52. 40 signifies completion. 12 signifies completion. Now you have another opportunity to get it right. The question is, are you prepared to get it right? I think we got a call on the line. Caller, you live on there. Go ahead, please.
Hey, Professor,
Hey, what you say?
good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are you?
You told me don't take too long.
But of course, I told you that I can give you a good spanking if you did.
Oh, my God. Hey, Professor,
Yeah, go ahead.
small mom and pop store.
Yes, you would have discussed that today.
It seems to me like, I don't know, in my opinion, that government, I don't know if they want to put them out of business, because the other day they had a group of inspectors that from consumer came up there, came around the shops and stuff like that.
Yes.
And they incite the person for 12 little fraction that mom and pop house, and asking them, you selling potato and onion, where's your scale? You need a scanner inside this shop. And this is a mom and pop store,
Yes.
12 by 12, you know.
Okay.
I mean, if you can put pressure on this man like this, and you leave all them big stores there, who you don't even put pressure on or nothing like that,
Okay.
because the mom and pop gotta sell the same Jack Mackerel, whatever the big store them is selling for,
Yes.
and the big store come by cases. Mom and pop only gotta go maybe buy a half a case or a case,
That's possible, yeah.
and you know somehow they should try to, like, work with these people to keep these little stores in the community.
Yes.
And number one, they are not tagging the other. You get. I don't want to say like over Haitian or whatever get the shop inside their home.
Yes.
So how come nobody's going to these home and inspecting?
Yeah, you have a point there, yes.
You see? So they the people them they gonna make, if they make $100 in them shop a day, they doing good.
Yes.
And my other point is, what happened yesterday by South Police Station, East Street South. I don't know if you see it on video or whether you see it yet with the Caucasian
Oh, yes,
lady.
I heard about that. Yeah.
I think now whatever the police them say she should stop doing, they pick up Carmichael Road and whatever. She said that she want to use this on the tape now, and she want to go to the bathroom and stuff like that. They should
Which police initially came in contact with her?
East Street South,
She was,
and she was on Carmichael Road, I think.
okay, was she
And
walking or?
they say she's going to you need to stop going to the drug house or whatever. But
Oh,
she asked them she won't you do number two, but apparently it looked like they didn't let her go on,
okay.
and she did number two right on the floor,
Yes, okay.
and then she smeared it on the wall and things and stuff like that, and started using some, nigger and stuff like that, different things.
Yes, okay.
So I don't know.
Did they arrest this woman for something?
Yeah,
What it said?
allegedly they say on the tape, one officer said you need to stop going to the drug house. You see? So I don't know.
You don't know specifically. They didn't
Yeah,
say
so-
anything why they had arrested her.
But that's what one of the officers
Yeah, one of the
said.
officers said that, yeah. But
Yeah.
that's his opinion on something, and
Right.
it might not have nothing to do with the matter.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Mr. Delvin Bananas said, young people are not getting married. Huh?
I laugh at that one. I heard that too, yeah.
You can't make these stories up,
No.
Why?
Why are they not getting married?
I don't know why. Why buy the cow and you could get
Then
the
you
milk
could get
free?
it for free, yeah, yeah.
You see?
You don't need to be burdened with that cow.
You don't need to wait with that because right now the woman them is saying it is marital rape. And if you go to and he said the young people are not getting married no more and this and that and next thing. Brother said it's so much things you could talk about.
Yes.
It's the buffet table is so loaded with all sorts of problems.
You better believe that, yes, they are.
And to me it's alleged that some of these pastors working for waiver renewal.
Yes, okay.
So in other words, they dipping in the church, they dipping in they getting paid from government, and this is the reason why you see they cannot call out things like how it's supposed to be.
Okay.
And most people are compromising.
Yeah, once you compromise, it's very difficult.
And that man, that pastor who always come on, and he have always coming on have something to say.
Okay.
You understand?
Yes.
And this country, Brother Sid, is loaded with problems.
Yeah, plenty of problems. I certainly agree with that.
You see?
Yes.
And my last point, that problem what happened in Haiti, before I touched them, well, they said they advised the Bahamian them, don't travel to Haiti.
Yeah, but he's talking foolishness.
Yeah,
You mean to
Yeah.
tell me after all these months,
yeah.
after all these years, you just remember to put out a friggin' advisory about Haiti?
And look how long it's been. It
The
ain't like
government,
nobody.
where the government was. Huh? And the particular personality who put the crap out there. I mean, where was he? All this trouble that has been going on in nations decide, even the U.S. were ahead of us when they said we're going to stop Haitians from entering the country. Yet we still bring in a lot of Haitians by way of Bahamas there. And talking about people making money. Yeah, any crap like that?
Boy, I tell you, all they need to do, stop the plane now from going there on Tuesday and Saturday. Stop it. Try to get some things in order. And because what happened the other day with the Bahamians them over in Haiti,
Yes.
could you imagine if that was twisted around and that was some Haitian happen here get
Yes.
in the problem.
Right.
You can imagine how they would have gone castigate the Bahamas and
Of course.
stuff like that.
Of course they would.
Man, they're gonna do the Bahamas so bad that's gonna be in all over America and things like that.
That's right.
You understand? It's time for us really to, it's stand up, man. Stand up and fight. One on some things what is wrong. You gotta call it out.
Yeah, you have to call it out.
You
That is
see?
true. Yeah.
Call it out, man. Who's wrong? Call it out. Thank you, brother. Sid.
Okay. All right. Thank you for your contribution. Thank you very much. Bahamians, this is Open Line Friday, 326 We're discussing issues of national importance, also constituency issues, island issues, and other issues that affect the Bahamian people. The line is wide open. And of course, I have my two guests here, Brother Hyla and Brother Cartwright. I'm going to bring them on in a moment. But Bahamians, the thing is that we have to get serious. Not enough of you are really standing up for issues that affect you in your own constituency, in the nation as a whole. As I said, someone had called me yesterday, and I am saying to them, okay, fine. We need your support to be able to do some things, and that's why I'm going to give my email out now. The State of the Nation, 242 at gmail.com. You send me an email. The State of the Nation, 242 at gmail.com. And you put your name and then your contacts and then your phone numbers in there now. Make sure don't forget the phone numbers. Because there are a number of things that Professor and his team is going to be doing in relation to dealing with issues that affect the country. And for those like the particular personality who called me yesterday, there is something that that particular personality can do, even if you feel that you're not comfortable with making a call. You may not want your voice to be heard. That's a personal thing there. But the point is, we need people who are going to be fearless in whatever you do. You got to stand up and defend your country. You have to stand up and defend what is going on here. You have your constitutional rights. I reminded the particular personality about that. We have to use it, Bahamians. If you don't use these constitutional rights that we have, what you think is going to happen? The whole place can get lost to you. Others going to take it over. Then they're going to come up with something else. They want to make up a new constitution. They want to get rid of this one. You know that, Bahamians? Some wicked people want to get rid of this wonderful document that God has blessed us with. Ain't going nowhere. They can keep this till Christ come back. This is Professor Sidney MacArthur Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network. And I get back, I'll introduce my two special guests who are here today. We'll be back after the break. Spread yourself.
Express yourself. Call in and participate at 326-0271 or 326-0272. WhatsApp us your concerns on 809-2310. Follow us live on Facebook and Global Radio 99.5fm.com. Express yourself.
This is Professor Sidney MacArthur Walter Thompson. This is Professor Sidney MacArthur Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network 99.5 FM. This is Open Line Friday. Friday's always open line. Anything you would like to discuss? The first caller made some points about the mom and pop stores, and it's unfortunate if the authorities are putting extra pressure on these little stores. People are trying to survive in this environment. And I think it's the duty of the government of the Bahamas to assist the small mom and pop stores to survive. We have to let them survive, Bahamians, because it's important that they be a part of the economy and then grow into bigger stores as we move forward. Of course, my two special guests here, Brother Cartwright and Brother Hyler, are here. Welcome, gentlemen, to Open Line Friday on Global Radio Network 99.5 FM.
Good day, Professor, and good day, Mr. Cartwright, our producer, Jay Wise and Bahamas. We do have a lot of issues going on, and seeing that we're talking, at least at the very beginning, we're addressing the small businesses.
Yes.
Our middle class and our small businesses seem to be struggling and even declining under the pressures that they face.
Yes.
And even our large businesses are facing extreme pressure. We do have a call. I'll say more after the call. Let's see where the caller wants to go.
All right. I'll call you live on air. Go ahead, please.
Yes, Professor. I
Yes,
would like for you and your guests to clarify. It came on the smartphone that the immigrants were planning a protest to say that they are being mistreated in the Bahamas. I would like for you all to clarify if that is true and what do they want. If they say they're being mistreated, I'll hang up to hear what you all have to say.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for your call. Gentlemen, do you know anything about
Yeah,
this?
I can bring clarity, and then Carter, you can speak after.
Okay.
So what is happening is apparently the association that is named on that particular post, the association does exist, but they're saying that they did not put that information out. So they're calling
What
that.
association is that?
They're saying it's the United Haitian and Bahamian Association.
Wait a
It's
minute. Wait, hold on. What kind of strange name is that? United what? Bahamian and Haitian.
Yeah, let me make sure.
Association?
Let me make sure I get the name correct. But
Sure.
but for now, let me say that they're saying that it is not a correct post. It's not
Okay.
true that they are staging some type of protest or gathering in the Bahamas. So that's not a real news item.
Okay.
To the best of our knowledge. And other news outlets are saying the same thing as well. They're reporting that's not a true statement. Did you hear anything about that, Carter?
I'm now looking up, but I remember seeing it posted on WhatsApp and the Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
But then I also saw there's a gentleman face who they claim is the president of this makeup
Mm-hmm.
that talks about the I got it right here in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
It's called United Association of Haitians Living in the Bahamas. You have the address is Main Street, Nassau, Bahamas, and they leave a phone contact. But the thing is this: even if they were to hold a protest, it has to come from the Minister of National Security, because the streets don't belong to nobody. The street belongs to the government of the Bahamas. And if they give you permission, means that the government is complicit to allow you to do that. But my thing is this: no one, if you're non-Bahamian, if you have a complaint, you take it to the proper authorities. You don't take it to our streets, because the streets belong to us. Belongs to the Bahamian citizens, not to you. So if you have a complaint, we have a protocol whereby that if you have a complaint, you take it to your embassy. If they have a representative here, they then turn around, take it to Foreign Affairs, and then they have the chain of command where things are probably investigated. You don't take things in your own hand and then do as you feel. Because if that was Bahamians or allegedly Bahamians wanted to do that in Haiti, I guarantee you, you would have been bloodbath because they wouldn't stand for it. So my thing to those people who living in the Bahamas who are non-Bahamians, you must remember now, you're living in our country as a guest, not as a citizen. When you're a guest in someone's home, you're supposed to act humble and accordingly and follow all of their laws. You don't make demands, you don't make issues and threats. That is not your portfolio. You use your embassy to talk. So I think we got a call online.
No, I know we have a call.
Okay,
I was
then.
just letting you finish your
Okay.
point. I was very well aware
Yes.
of that.
Mm-hmm.
You finished now?
Yeah, I'm finished. That's why I
Okay.
let the call go.
All right. Caller, you live on air. Go ahead, please. Caller, you live on air. Go ahead, please. I think we don't have this caller ready to move.
Yeah.
Caller, you live on air. Go ahead, please.
Okay, so once again, that does not appear to be a true post. The quote from the association
What's
is
the name of this association?
Okay, it's the United Haitian and Bahamian Association.
What kind of crap is that?
Professor, you have Haitians and you have Bahamians in the Bahamas. Now, first we said we
Notice
don't
the name. United Haitian Bahamian Association.
No, not Haitian Bahamian.
What is it?
United Association of what I
Haitians
see-
living in the Bahamas.
Yes.
Wait a minute.
Also, so we have let's read it exactly. One of our news outlets questioned the association directly, right? So one of our news outlets in the Bahamas that we watch every night, this is what they are reporting. The United Haitian and Bahamian Association, which is also known as UHAB, has denied any role in plans for widespread protests.
So if I understand the naming correctly, they're trying to unite Haitians and Bahamians in the Bahamas. Is that it?
That's correct.
Okay, all right. That's what I want to understand.
Yes.
I think we have a call on the line, Mr. Producer. Caller, you live on air. Go ahead, please.
Professor,
Yes, ma'am.
I have this to say. I don't know why people feel that in our country, if I want to unite with the Bahamians, the Bahamas belongs to the Bahamians. We don't owe nobody no explanation, and we don't need to join up with nobody. The politicians need to establish this fact once and for all that the Bahamas belongs to the Bahamians. From the history books, there's nowhere in our history books that we were united with Haiti. The only thing united and business we had with Haiti, that they came here and they sold their products and they came here to do landscaping. So why now they will unite our culture with theirs?
Okay.
The Bahamas belongs to the Bahamian people. And the politicians need to sign this. We are doing them a favor by letting them be here. We don't have to tolerate them.
But are they here legally? That's another thing again.
That's another thing again. So we got to establish this fact once and for all, that we don't have to unite with nobody. The Bahamas belongs to the Bahamian people.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for your contribution.
But you know, Brother
Brother
Hyla,
Cartwright, go ahead.
if you read this clip that was put out by UHAB, right? And I smiled when I started to read where they said they call for Haitians across. And this is where I smiled and I said, there's some truth to this. They called for the Haitians across who living in New Providence, Grand Bahama, Abaco, Eleuthera, and Andres.
Okay.
All of those places, all of those islands is heavily dominated with Haitians living there. So these people who put this out, they ain't lying and saying, listen, you notice they didn't say nothing about Long Island. They didn't call other islands, but they called where the majority of the Haitians in the Bahamas are staying.
Yes.
New Providence, Andros, Grand Bahama, Abaco, Eleuthera.
Yeah.
All of them are predominantly now being flooded by migrants, especially from Haiti.
Okay.
The thing is, what we have to really look at, and I keep trying to make people understand this. If you read the preambles of the Bahamas, it tells you going back to 481 years ago,
yeah.
from 1973, which brings you back to the day when Columbus visited the Bahamas.
1492.
So it has nothing to do with Haiti. So that means
Nothing.
that we've been basically the inheritors of the original people who were moved or taken away of this land.
Yeah, the Arawaks.
We became the successors of our African ancestors who were brought here.
Yeah, that's correct.
And we decided from that day on, when we did the preamble to our independence and our constitution,
Yes.
that's what we talked about. We also stated clearly, you could only be a citizen if you were living in the Bahamas and you were living in a colony of Great Britain or the UK. Haiti was
Okay.
never part of the UK.
No, they never were. We're gonna
Yes.
continue that point. I think we have another caller on the line. Caller, you live on air. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, Professor, this thing is an eye-opener.
Did you call just before? We can't have you call 3 times, man.
Yeah,
No, I have to cut you. No, I can't allow that. No.
You know,
Go ahead,
go
brother.
ahead, go ahead.
And so when you
Right.
look at it,
Oh,
even
there's another call.
there's another caller? Okay. Go
Caller,
ahead,
you
caller.
live on air. Go ahead, please.
I send you it's from Aiden.
Hello.
VIP.
Hello.
Caller, you live on air. Go ahead, please.
No,
Cut the caller. Just cut
I
it.
think they were dealing with two. You
Go
want to
ahead,
continue?
Go ahead,
And so when you look at, even when you look at the indication in the citizen in the articles, it talks about British colonies. And here's
Yes.
the thing: we turned around and allowed some people from other British colonies who were already independent to become Bahamians.
I'm glad you mentioned that because that's the biggest mistake the
And-
government made
and that's
in
what
those
we-
early years.
yes.
Yes, that's
Because
correct.
when you look at it, we've had people from Trinidad
Yeah, who should not
who,
be
who
citizens.
didn't qualify,
Didn't
as
qualify.
the Haitians.
And Jamaica.
Jamaica, Barbados, all of those,
Yes, Barbados as well.
all of those countries, Guyana, they were already independent nations.
So they were not
They didn't qualify.
colonies of the United Kingdom. Yes.
So you only had places like the Caymans, the Turks, Bermuda,
Ancient Caicos.
and some others. But the rest who were already independent didn't qualify. I think
Okay.
we got another caller.
Yeah, no, but God, right. Just
Okay.
don't worry about that. Okay.
All right.
The thing is, we don't want people playing games on this radio station.
All right.
Caller, you live on air. Go ahead, please.
Hey, good afternoon, Professor.
Good afternoon, sir.
Hey.
Good afternoon to all your guests and good afternoon, Bahamas. Professor, you know what you teach us? I'd call talk, but I congratulate Brent Simmet for doing all that research. Professor, you know what you teach us for the Constitution? These guys was running crazy over the thing. There ain't no question other group in the country. Because when you get your citizenship, the first thing we say, turn your back on your flag. So anytime you put any name on anything in the country, people supposed to call immigration. They ain't supposed to argue with nobody. Call immigration. Let them do their job. If you get your citizenship, you cross your heart and pledge allegiance to the Bahamas. You ain't supposed to be doing all that foolishness. Professor, you teach us that in the Constitution. It's right there on page 15. They ain't calling no one. We say, do you want to be a citizen? If you say yes, we say, turn your back on your flag and pledge allegiance. These leaders, them playing games, they sleeping. You ain't supposed to put no other full name on nothing in the Bahamas. Either you are one of the Bahamian or you are a foreigner. So anytime you say things like that, don't argue. Call immigration. You all have a blessed day. Constitution, that's only Constitution.
Thank you, caller, for your
So
contribution. Yeah.
you have the young people of yours
Mhm.
has come a long way because he
yeah.
was asking you a lot of questions. I remember
Yes,
in the early
he was.
days.
Yes,
Yeah,
he was.
And he is
Yeah.
now basically fully grasped.
Yeah, but he has a good grasp of
on
that.
the constitution. So
Yeah,
these
that
are
is
things
good.
what he said, and we take it for joke, but
Mhm.
seriously, what he's saying is actually fact.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's factual.
There's no such thing as an hyphenated Bahamian.
No such thing.
So when you hear
Yeah.
people telling you, but I tell them that's an American terminology.
Yeah.
If you want to live that way, you go there.
Yeah.
In this country,
That's
yeah.
why I questioned the name of this particular
Yes.
entity.
Yeah.
You see, that's
Haitian
why.
and Bahamian. So you
Yeah.
want to bring Haiti here, basically. Let's cut straight to it. Professor may get in trouble for this, right? I have never heard any Bahamian politician, leader, immigration, none of them speak of renouncing and carrying out that process.
Yes.
And teach. Get on the micro. If you want to go into the church, go into the church. If you feel like you want to confer citizenship and teach them. If you want to be the prime minister, our prime minister, you are me and I am you, and we are one. All of this is not the Constitution. Renouncing is a requirement. You renounce the former country and you take on a new country. You don't have two identities in one person. It does not exist. And this is what we are allowing, and we are wrong for it. For this two flag thing, 2 flags, 2 countries. Listen, no man can serve 2 masters.
No, they can't.
No man can serve 2 countries. Choose your country. If you want, no one can be against a person wanting to hold on to their country or flag. Go back there.
That's right.
That's the principle.
Yeah.
No one could be you would be wrong for telling someone, do not hold on to your flag, do not hold on to your country. But if you want to do so, go home.
Yes.
Come to the Bahamas and seek a work permit. Seek a work permit legally to work here and retain your Haitian citizenship and identity. That is so simple. Ikat, right?
Yeah.
If you want to legally become a Bahamian citizen, stop this thing about bringing what you were bringing from where you were bringing into this culture, into the Bahamas.
Could never qualify to be citizens. Not a single friggin' Haitian out there could qualify
Today,
to be a citizen.
yes, today,
That's the way it is now.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
can. But it's so funny in all of that, Professor.
Mhm.
When they had the opportunity, and I am almost willing to say 99.9%, when the opportunity was there,
Did not pursue it.
They never went
They
back
never went back.
Yeah.
and got the proper documentations.
Okay.
Because the first qualification, they tell you that only the Justice Department in Port-au-Prince can grant renunciation papers,
Right.
but it has to come in 2 languages. The language of Haiti, which is Creole, and the language of the country that you're applying for citizenship for.
Yes.
And so when you look at it, a lot of them never went the right way. So
They never did.
don't care how long you've been living here, you basically were in violation of the law
The
of
whole
land.
time.
They violated the law.
So
Yeah.
when you have your kids, even still, your kids would fall into that same predicament as you, because why? They also never went back.
That's right.
And so when you look at it, they don't understand. And here's the thing I always tell people that frustrates me with the Haitians out of all the different persons who come here. Right now, I also tell you how you know many people live in the Bahamas is at the food festival, which they normally have in October. Okay. And I remember when they started, they used to have about 4 or 5. And the last time I've been, they had over 20 different descendants living in the Bahamas. And I remember at that food festival, everyone had their food and their flag displayed as what they represent. Then I noticed that in August every year, the Jamaicans celebrate their independence. I think it's on around the same time we have August Monday. It's either the day before, that same day, or the day after.
Yes.
But what they do is they do not have a flag day. They celebrate Jamaica's independence. And they get together and everything in that, wherever they have it, they wear all of their paraphernalia. You see Barbados, everyone else does the same thing. Why must we make it different for the Haitians who want to now celebrate a flag, but they don't want to celebrate their independence, which is 1804?
Right.
So I was like, you want to celebrate, you want me to give you a day for your independence, and now we're giving you a day for your flag? When you don't want, and this is what I tell people, is those persons of Haitian descent, one of the things that I always tell people is, when you see the Bahamas independence, watch and see how many of them associate themselves with the Bahamas. Hardly any. But watch when you hear them say Haitian Flag Day, how many of them abandon their so-called Bahamian identity, ride around as a Haitian. And another thing I always tell people is, you should never have the Bahamian flag attached to no other flag.
No.
I've seen nations ride around with one side of flag is Haiti, one side of flag is Bahamian. And I was like, do these people know that that's a serious violation?
It is.
And I said, even tells me that even our law enforcement don't understand that this is a serious violation.
It is. Very
Yeah,
much so.
we playing games. Gentlemen, we know that we have between 3 and 400,000 Bahamians living in the Bahamas, roughly. And we say we have about 200,000 adults, eh?
Yep.
About 200,000 adult Bahamians. Professor, in 2022, I'm reading from an article in the Nassau Guardian. The Charge d'Affaires from Haiti at the time, Mr. Anthony Brutus of Haiti. This is the consulate now.
I remember him.
Saying we have documented 80,000 documented legal Haitians, legal, and up to 150,000 in total. So 80,000 legal, and he is suggesting up to 70,000 illegal Haitian. This is what he said in a press conference.
He was recalled.
Well, I would recall him too. Because why? Because you're opening people's eye, and you may cause people to say,
Yes.
enough is enough. You may cause people to say, we have to work with them, we have to help them, right? But we don't have to go to 200,000, 300,000, 400,000.
What year that was?
This is 2022. This is before the. Okay, well, let me let you continue.
Yes, because if you realize-
continue.
because I remember that article
Yeah.
when he came out and made the statement. And
So how
then-
much now?
That's what he said. But then what happened was the government of the Bahamas, through Foreign Affairs, asked the Haitian government to recall him.
Mm.
And I said, why you want them to recall this man if he's telling the truth? And they denied that there's that many Haitians
Yeah.
here.
He was.
And I was like, the man should know
Yeah.
because they're the ones who giving out the passports.
Exactly.
Because you can go to the embassy
Yeah.
and ask, and they would then grant you, and then they'd send you to Haiti, and your documents are processed, and it comes back to you. So he could tell you how
Exactly.
many got legal documents. And here was the
Exactly.
thing.
Yeah.
He said legal Haitians
Yeah.
means that those Haitians came to the Bahamas, still hold on to their documents.
Mm.
And then he's also speaking to the legal ones, those who came by boat.
Yes.
Mhm.
So when you look at it, that's 150 all are Haitians.
Mhm.
He only talks about those said who had passports
Mhm.
and those who were coming to the embassy to get passports. So when you add the two numbers together, you're looking at basically
Okay.
150. And at that time, we had how many people in the country living in the Bahamas? 300,000.
Like 300,000 to 350,000.
So what if you listen to what this man was saying, and I see why they were asking the governor of the Bahamas asked them to be recalled. Half of the population.
Half. That's back then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna. I think we have another caller on the line. Caller, you live on air. Go ahead, please.
Yes, good afternoon to Professor,
Yes,
Mr.
ma'am.
Cartwright, and
Good
Mr.
afternoon.
Hyler.
Hey,
Good
good
afternoon.
afternoon. Good day.
Okay, my thing is, you know where our problems stem from? We have on if you go to Facebook and you look at our language for the Bahamas, it's Bahamian Creole. That's the first step that this government needs to call Facebook and have that taken down. Because we have nothing to do with Creole. And as for this gentleman who came on and said, no, we didn't put out that flyer, you know, he is wrong. Because he don't get to say Haitian, Bahamian, or Bahamian Haitian. We are Bahamians. We ain't hitching our wife to Haiti in no way. We don't want it. So he needs to change his name of his organization. It's a Haitian organization. Has nothing to do with the Bahamas. So he could start there. And I would suggest he grab his minions and all of them go home. And you know what they need to understand? They need to read our Constitution. Because all of these people who are applying for citizenship in our country, 50 and 60 and 30 and 40, they ain't entitled to no citizenship. And even if they are born there, they're not guaranteed to get citizenship either. They really need to read the Constitution. And I don't see how our government and our newspapers are printing these people every week, applying for citizenship. I mean, what are we to do as Bahamians? And then you have these Haitian people, these police, who trigger happy just killing our Bahamian men down there. I mean, there's protocols, even if you're on the water. Usually the U.S. Coast Guard, they shoot across your bow. They command whatever, but they do as much as possible to save people's lives.
Yes, ma'am.
And to see my family, because I'm from Grand Bahama, with most of my family in Abaco. And to see those young men floating in the water like that.
Yes, ma'am.
We want these people out of this country, you know. They
Okay.
have no love for us.
All right. Well, thank you for
And
your
we
contribution.
want Bahamas there to stop flying down to Haiti. If Bahamians are being warned to not go there, Bahamas is Bahamian. It should not be going there either.
Okay. Thank you for your contribution. Thank you very much. Okay. Gentlemen, anything?
Yes.
wanna
You know,
add?
Professor, listening to her, right?
Yeah.
And then I remember the article, listening to Mr. Pinter, and I'm glad Brother Hyla asked me told me what time to watch it, and I ended up watching it last night on my phone. And Mr. Pinter said something in which most politicians always repeat the same thing. Those people who applied for Bahamian status, and the one thing they said, oh, well, they're stopping sitting down in immigration.
Cut the
No,
phone
no,
off.
no, no.
Where that's coming from?
That's the easy And they,
Come on, man. This is saving the show.
and they said, but they've been at their documents in for a long time. And I said to them, the former Prime Minister, Mr. Ingram, said it clearly. If the time passed, that 1 year passed, and you did not follow up to get your documents and everything in order, there is no recourse. There is no going back and then giving you status. He says no. It says 1 year at the age of 18 until the age of 19. He said there is no ambiguity. So if you let that pass, because we saw the ruling came down from the Privy Council in the John Roney's case, and they said to him, Mr. Roney, you had the opportunity, was given to you to apply to be a Bahamian. You met the qualifications, but you refused. You decided that you're going to wait. So by you waiting, you let the time pass. There's nothing in their constitution said, well, if the time passed, you can come back.
Exactly.
And so all of those persons, once you pass your 18 and 19 birthday, which was that 1 year window,
it's only 1 year window of opportunity.
that is nobody's fault
it.
but yours, and that is the government don't have to do nothing. Because of this stuff, what they trying to say, well, they trying to clean it backlog. No, that is not in the Constitution.
Yes.
If these people qualified, then you're supposed to have, if you think that you backlog, hire more people to help you process.
But they can't even qualify.
No.
Because the time is already passed.
So,
I believe we have a caller on the line, Mr. Producer.
Yes.
Caller, you live on air. Go ahead, please.
That is not in the Constitution.
Oh, come on.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, caller. Caller, would you turn your radio off, please? And go ahead with your comment.
Yes, good afternoon.
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon.
Yes, the first thing I would like to point out. Pardon me?
Go ahead, caller. Just don't
Yes,
listen.
you're live on there. We can hear you.
Yeah,
You can
don't
go
listen-
ahead.
Don't listen to your radio. Just talk to us, please.
Yes. What I said was, first of all, the thing what I am looking at with this Haitian situation, if I understand it correctly, if you are only qualified by being a person from a British colony, Haitian is not qualified in any way. They can qualify for permanent residency with the right to work, but they can never become a Bahamian. I don't understand why people are saying this in a manner as if they have a right to apply. I don't understand that.
Well, under the Constitution, it does not stop you from applying, because one of the articles did say if none of your parents, you can apply if you were born in the Bahamas, but you also have to follow the other clauses that is in the Constitution, means that you must renounce. And in the case of Haitians, they had to go back home to their parents' country and get a proper letterhead from the Haitian Justice Department. See, only the Haitian Parliament can authorize powers to the different ministries. And one of the things that they said that if you want to renounce, first, you must come back to the Justice Department in Port-au-Prince. Secondly, you must have it written in Creole because that is the official language of Haiti. And thirdly, you must have it written in the language of the country you're applying to go to, and it must have a government stamp seal. These were the things that had to be done. And so if you did not do that, and then if you waited past your 19th birthday, then you fall away. Now, what has been happening in this country is that the governments of the Bahamas been using the Nationality Act. And the problem with the Nationality Act was that when you look at the Nationality Act, a lot of these articles in it fall away. They said, well, yeah, it was passed, and I agree with them. It was passed, but once the Constitution came to effect on the 10th of July, they told you that any existing or previous law must coincide with the Constitution. So when you look at the Nationality Act, one, the Nationality Act has no age limit. That's why you're seeing all these people 50, 60, 70. The Constitution tells you two numbers they give you between the age of 18 and 19. And then they said at 21 means that you were born outside the country. They're the only two numbers you were given. That's in the Constitution and that's enshrined there.
Yeah.
The Nationality Act is what they call in law a regular statute law.
Statute law.
That's it. Means that the parliament, any parliament comes back in, can amend it, change
Or
it,
repeal it, or repeal it.
or take it off the books completely.
Yeah.
But when you look at the Constitution,
Can't repeal that.
you have to go through, out of those 136 articles, 130 of those articles comes with a referendum. And the one good thing that the founding fathers did, they made sure that all citizenship articles comes with a referendum. So when you hear the parliamentarians telling you, well, this is not, I would say to them, show me how this, what you're talking about, lines up with the Constitution. That's the statute. It's like a fella telling you in road traffic, oh, well, we passed a law that you could go through the light turning left.
Right.
The next parliament come around and say, no, we ain't doing that no more. You cannot go through the light turning left, even if it's red. No,
Yeah.
They take that off the books. That's statute law. And so the Constitution says in the beginning, I am the supreme law. So if the articles in the Nationality Act is not the supreme law, then you cannot use it. And so what has happened is that most of I would say 99% of our parliamentarians do not read, do not understand, and the one person who I hold with such esteem should know better is the person who's served in the parliament longest than anyone else, which is the Prime Minister.
Mm.
And him being a legal mind should have said to the rest of his parliamentary colleagues, this is no law. But he said there, and he didn't advise when he's in opposition, he didn't advise when he was in government before, and point these things out to say, hey, that is not the law.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's sitting in the chair and he's still saying, well, this is the law. So it tells me that either he does not know the law or he is refusing to acknowledge the law
and is going against the law.
So means that
It's either one or the other.
he's in violation. And so all of these things is telling you that when you read your Constitution, especially I want to just read the citizenship articles. They're the easiest ones to remember.
Mhm.
There's only but 4 or 5 of them. And so once you get them down,
Mhm.
you don't need them to tell you that you can see it for yourself.
Caller, you still there? Caller, you still there? Oh, he probably is
Let's
gone.
get the new phone numbers out once again, Professor. So we do have 326-0272 that you can call into the show, but we also have 502-4571, 502-4572. When you call, select option 2, and you will be taken right into the studio. We have another
Okay, I think we
caller.
have a call on the line. Caller, you're live on air. Go ahead, please.
1, 2, 4, 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, caller, you're on the radio, but you got to turn off your radio because you get any feedback.
Caller, you're live on air. Go ahead, please.
Sounds like they hung up. Caller, are you there? Okay, when you
we'll just cut.
yes,
Move
when you
on,
call
please.
into the show, please turn down your radio. If you're in your house or your car, or even if you're listening on Facebook on
I
a
think they need
phone,
to shut it off completely.
you need to turn it off
because
once once you're
we've
connected.
had too many interruptions in the show today, and I don't like it at all.
Mhm.
Okay.
So, Professor,
go ahead,
we
go
have a situation where, and I hope you all don't mind me saying, but I have to bring this in. I had a really heavy burden earlier this week, understanding that there was a panel discussion, as you know, Mr. Cartwright, and I was involved with a panel discussion
Okay.
involving, this is on the political side, which we try to stay on try to stay non-political here on this show, just dealing with the facts, right? But I happened to be on a political show that involved all of the significant parties, and I have to report this, Professor, and I have to report this to the public as well, right?
Okay.
There was no discussion of engaging or holding accountable the leaders of Haiti in terms of addressing the problem that we're facing, Professor.
Okay.
You're talking about things like, oh, we're going to investigate, or we're going to crack down on persons selling fraudulent passports, right? These are band-aids, Professor.
Okay.
You see what I mean? Nobody is saying we have an eminent persons group, which is led by our former Prime Minister, Mr. Perry Christie, along with a former Prime Minister of Jamaica, Mr. Bruce Golding.
Yeah.
These gentlemen were charged by CARICOM, report back to us, make an assessment, and report what is going on in Haiti, bring about solutions. We are taking this thing too light, Professor. All kind of money being spent, very influential figures are at the head of dealing with the problem. But the people are not being told what is going on. No
Okay.
one is reporting and
I can
holding
accept
individuals accountable. You see
Yeah.
what I'm saying, Professor?
Yeah, that's true.
So
That is true.
I leave it there for now as we go to a break. But we need to get more serious. The problem is, and the numbers of persons that are headed this way, Professor. We keep saying it on the show. Up to 500,000 or more, between 500 and 700,000 persons may be deported and head back into whether it's Haiti or the Bahamas. But let me leave it there for
Yeah,
now.
that's
Let's continue after the break.
Yeah, this is Professor Sidney MacArthur Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network 99.5 FM. This is Open Line Friday, and the aim is we're discussing, of course, issue with immigration and also citizenship and any other national issue or thing you would like to discuss. We will be back after the break.
And a regular call would be 326-0272, or you can call 502-4571 or 502-4572. For those numbers, select option 2, and it'll bring you right in to the studio. Speaking of what is upsetting you, Professor, what is really upsetting me is that the two major organizations that we allow to govern our nation,
Yes.
when it comes to their solution to this crisis, I repeat, Professor, I'm not hearing them bring the root cause. And the newspapers as well as the media is always rushing up to put a microphone in their face, to talk, to teach us, to inform us. And what I'm saying is, we're not getting solutions that deal with the root of the problem. And if
Okay.
we did, we're gonna be able to help Haiti. And I believe we do need to help Haiti. First of all, we have an assassination of President Jovenel Moïse. Unfortunately, it's an extreme tragedy, and everything has been unraveling and falling apart since then. The New York Times did a story suggesting that they were reporting what is happening on the ground in Haiti, and they're saying even some of the opposition may have been involved. So the international community don't know who to trust. They don't know where to send money. They don't know who to work with. So what I'm getting at is CARICOM, we just had a CARICOM meeting. Our prime minister came back from CARICOM swinging his hand. No report on what is happening in Haiti. We only heard a general statement out of CARICOM that CARICOM remains committed to security in the region. What does that mean, Professor? What do you mean you remain committed to security in the region? What about vessels? The Turks and Caicos Islands took it upon themselves to get help from Great Britain. Great Britain sent an aircraft carrier, sent craft into the region to patrol. So in terms of increased patrol, are we working with our counterparts in the region? And I'm talking in a meaningful way. When last have we turned on the news and seen the Coast Guard in collaboration with the Royal Bahamas Defense Force, in collaboration with the United Kingdom Sea Forces? What are we doing? Or are we just sitting on our hands? Bahamians are upset over the matter. I don't think we're getting representation over the matter, Professor. I don't think we're getting serious solutions over the matter. And I want the public to hear me carefully. The leaders of the gangs that are in Haiti, they have a coalition, and we don't see them fighting one another. Professor, reporters are coming from major organizations like the BBC out of Great Britain. And I need you to explain this to me, Professor. The army, the Kenyan army, and the armed forces on the ground in Haiti can't seem to be able to find the gang leaders, right?
Yes.
But why is it that the BBC and the New York Times, how is it that they could walk right up to the gang leaders and sit down and talk with them?
I've heard the reports, yes.
But
that's a fact.
Someone need to make that make sense for me.
That's a fact.
If they
I've heard those reports.
Okay, then. So if they're terrorizing the neighborhood, carrying on in Haiti, driving Haitians out of Port-au-Prince, and the numbers we're getting is 1,200,000 fleeing
Yes.
Port-au-Prince.
Yes.
They do not want to go out into the countryside because there's no money, there's no subsidizing their life in the country areas.
Yes.
So they want to leave 1.2 million from the south. Another 500,000 to 700,000 Trump is putting out of America from the north.
Okay.
We sitting here in the middle. So what is going to happen? It only makes sense for us to get involved and to stir things up in the region in a serious way. CARICOM and the United Nations, the peacekeeping forces, bring everybody together to work on the problem. Haiti is trying to have elections in February of 2026. Now, Professor, come on now. Come on now. How is that going to happen the way things are now? So we got to get more serious. So when I hear the opposition leader speak of, he has Operation Shield, and he has is an acronym. What Shield means, I remember, heightened surveillance, right? We talking about heightened surveillance. Let me say to the opposition, Mr. Pintard and the opposition leaders, you want to increase or heighten surveillance? The Turks and Caicos Islands got the United Kingdom to put sensors out in the waters for border patrol. You see what I'm saying, Professor? If you really want to protect Bahamian borders, you would go and have the drones that we paid for. Professor, you see any drone footage?
No.
Cartwright, you see any drone footage?
Not any.
From the Defense Force or from the police force? Where's the drone footage? All these millions of dollars. So I'm going to rest it right there for now, Professor. But I'm saying there's so much more we can do. And I take serious offense. All this money, all this taxation on the backs of the Bahamian people. And we don't have strong, comprehensive, and serious defense in terms of the defense force and solutions. We paying too much money, man. The highest cost of living. One study says this is the most expensive place in the world to live. And another study says we rank like number 3. But both of them agree. We pay through the nose, most expensive place to live in the world. And what are our leaders doing with the money? So that's all I have to put on the table concerning that.
Right.
Yes, listening to everything you said, Brother Hyler, one of the major problems with Haiti, and it's something that I noticed a long time ago in my travels back and forth into Haiti, the Haitian government itself has never really had a grasp on the whole country of Haiti since the fall of Baby Doc.
Yes.
Under Baby Doc and his father, they had Haiti on the whole under lock and key with the type of armed forces and how they basically run the country.
Yes.
After that, every government that took over since the fall of the Duvaliers had problems with governing the country. They only had control over the capital.
Yeah.
And Brother Hyler touched on something where people don't realize that those people who you now see fleeing Port-au-Prince, they're now caught in a bind because people in those other towns do not want them, in their communities. Because they said, if you come here, you're going to bring problems to us. So they are caught in a catch-22. I've spoken to a lot of Asians who live here, and one of the major things they always said to me is that, we don't want them to build our country for us. But if they can come in and show us how, we don't mind them working with us, but then leave. And I said to myself, that's everybody. You don't want no one to come into your house and tell you how to run your house.
Yes, okay.
So if they were smart, the UN and whoever can work along with them and say, listen, we're going to help start this, and you got to finish
I'll
it.
finish it, yeah. Okay, I believe we have a call on the line. Caller, you live on air. Go ahead, please.
Yes, good day.
Yes, good day, sir.
Hey, good day.
I'm a first-time caller to your show.
Thank you very much.
I've been listening to this show in particular on your station for the past couple of weeks, say about a month.
All right.
Now, Mr. Thompson, are you the gentleman that started the mini basketballs?
I'm not interested discussing anything about basketball today, sir.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm just saying that you are the one back in 70-something that started mini basketball, right?
What I'm saying, sir, is we're dealing with national issues.
No, I'm talking.
He's trying to identify you. He is trying to wonder.
Well, the only thing you need to know, sir, is I'm the host of the show. That's it. Do you have anything else to say?
Okay. Because Chicken is a good friend of mine. I think that would be the brother. Whatever. Mr. Hyler,
Yes, sir.
I appreciate your contribution and how you explain the situation with the Nationality Act and the Constitution and all of that. And I think you ought to probably take the opportunity to try and expand on your explanation on some other talk shows, because we do have a real crisis whereby, minister said, Cuban minister the other day said that we don't have an immigration problem, we have a corruption problem. And I was trying to explain that to Darren Henfield on Monday when he was on another talk show, and Michael Barnett Ellis on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Okay.
You see, basically the same thing about the Constitution and how the Nationality Act is not, Bahamas Nationality Act is not in sync with the Constitution because it was
That's
passed.
correct.
It was passed on the 5th of July,
Correct.
and it was at that time the old Constitution was in place,
Yes.
and it never gave rise to it.
Yes,
And
that's correct.
I tried to press her and let her know, saying a law such as that is void ab initio. That means it was never no good from the beginning. And the issue is that it was under Article 13, I think, under the present Constitution, where it would have come into effect if they did go to referendum and pass it.
Yes.
But the present Constitution that is in place now never came into effect until Independence Day.
That's correct.
So how could we, follow such a law, which is it ain't really a law, Mr. Hyler.
No, it isn't. That's correct.
I really liked your contribution. You see what I'm saying? And when we talk about the present prime minister in place, they're not doing anything, and they're not doing anything to fix it, because when we look at it, it's a custom, or we are bogged down in this culture. And Mr. Hyler, as you said, these people and all of them, they would have to go back to 1973 when we got independence.
Yes.
And everybody since then, who used this Nationality Act, and how papers are really not Bahamians by paper. Darren Henfield, I said it to him because they proposed an issue to say they would go back about 4 years, and I told them under the law, any law, the matter would be challenged and thrown out, because if you're not going to attack the issue from the inception. And another caller had another caller on the other show. I told them that Dominican Republic went all the way back to 1929.
That's correct.
You see what I'm saying? Because they said they try to make it seem like 1973 is a very long time. You see, one other point, Mr. Hyler pointed out when you said that Michael Pintard, because Professor Michael Pintard and I learned to play basketball together, and the mini basketball program was something that, and this is summer now, where we learned to play formal basketball together under Donald John Todd's team, the toddlers. You see, and that's why I asked you earlier about the basketball. The thing if it was you, but Mr. Hyler, I really appreciate your contribution. But when Pintard is saying that on the Shield, let's just remember one thing: he is not in power. You know what I mean? The present prime minister is in power to request any sort of assistance from Britain, the U.S., or wherever it may be.
Right.
So
True, yes.
if it's his intention, we would have to put him in place.
Yeah, but
execute.
I'd like to say this to you, Mr. Caller.
Yeah.
Do you realize that in the Parliament and the Senate, you don't have to be a member of the administration
to bring
about an amendment or a bill to Parliament? See, what has been happening, and we've been fooled by this, where everybody's saying, well, we are not the government. And I always say to them, you are the Parliament, because only the Parliament can make laws, and the Senate ratifies it and sends it back.
And allow me to interject right here quickly, Mr. Cartwright. The government is really the executive under Brave Davis, but it includes the opposition. The opposition is a part of the government as well. They're just not the leaders. I just wanted to interject right there.
Yes,
and this is what Cartwright is showing you.
They are just, like you say in a car, they are passengers.
Yes.
So All of them together. That's why when you see they pass a bill or anything that they vote on, the parliament comes together and vote either yes or no or go by the majority. So
But
when
the present government dominates the agenda.
Dominate.
yes,
They do.
No, but
Yes.
the reason
Yeah,
why they dominate, and this is what I've been telling people over and over, if you want to expose someone as a fraud, what you do is simple, and here it is. The first thing the opposition will say, well, they ain't gonna vote for the bill because we present it. Okay, they might vote for it. But if you get up in parliament, and this is something that a lot of them don't realize, they can get up and ask the speaker, once the time for voting, say, Madam Speaker, we want a roll call vote. A roll call vote means that every member of the parliament and every member of the Senate, when it comes for them to ratify it, must say yay or nay to that bill. Once you do that, and how we now can watch the parliament, you as a citizen will now see and say, hold on, why is Mr. So-and-so, the MP, voting against which would be better for our interest?
Yes.
He now has to come back to you in your constituency and explain himself. And if he doesn't give you a satisfying answer, you have now his report card in front of you to check off and say, you know what, I can't vote for him because the same way he's standing, baby, he's standing.
Mhm.
And you keep that up. And in 5 years, when it's time for election, you have his report card. You ain't got to worry, but the party say, well, you say, yeah, I hear you. But this man has not voted on
You've
policies.
taken a certain position.
Yes.
Right.
And so you
Yeah.
now get up and see another thing too. When I've been, and this way, me and Dr. Minnis had an argument before, a friendly gesture. And I said to him, I said, you know what's amazing me with you is that you came in here with some great ideas, but you dropped the ball. I said, such things as 6D, which
Mhm.
every Bahamian wanted.
Yeah.
No more by the prime minister keeping you one event as election. You talk about finance, but campaign financing, which payments wanted to see.
Mhm.
You talked about even trying that you would probably have a limited amount in the cabinet. So you will not have the cabinet outnumbers the parliament.
There
Okay,
has
it's
to be a
one-
cap on that, yeah.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Let me just say that there's one other issue I'd like to mention so I can get
Make
off
it
the line
quick, Ollie.
and allow other people to call.
Yes. Mhm.
This bill about the land adjudication and registration bill,
Mhm.
Okay.
right? Now, that is something to watch and be careful of because remember about squatters being on people's land,
Yes.
and sometimes what they call crown land is land that has already been the crown or whatever has issued the land to persons. We have issues there, a lot of issues in that
Yes.
some people who are never really entitled to the land are claiming that they own the land. And I know they want to show some grace to persons that may be on the land, but the laws are still the laws
Those
on
are
the books,
land.
right?
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? So that's what I want to touch on, and I have some personal issue going on with them too, trying to side with foreigners with my
Okay.
properties, okay?
Yeah,
So
and they
y'all have a
also-
nice day.
And you also
thanks a lot.
have,
Yeah.
thank you, caller, for your comment. You also have some constitutional issues
Yeah.
in relation to that
Yes.
with this new thing that they're coming up with.
Yeah, because Professor, and I would say this to Brother Hylo, that issue now with land, it's not only happening in Fox Hill now,
Right.
because I've sent him a photo of what was happening now in my community, which is in Barnabas, where the government is using that act
Mhm.
to repossess people's land. I had to call friends of mine and say, listen, this is what's happening now
Mhm.
on the property that your father and mother had owned.
Mhm.
Okay.
And so when you look at it, and I think the MP for St. Anne's said something clear, and no one paid attention to it. They laugh at it, but he said, with this new bill, it's not really an improvement.
I'm going to have to stop you right there because the music is
Yes.
coming through. This is Professor Sidney McCarter, Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network, 99.5 FM. We're going to a break and we'll be back after the break. you can bring it up, or any issue in your raised in your constituency. Of course, we have the crime issue. Of course, I did mention earlier in the show that we had someone who was murdered again today. Person going to the water pump early in the morning, around 12 o'clock, they said it was. Person shot to death right at the pump. And Bahamians, you know, that is a serious matter. Mr. Producer, you ready with the tape, or you have a caller? The tape. Okay, all right. Give me a second right there. I'll bring it right there. As I was saying, we had this situation with the individual going to the pump, and Bahamians, this is very, very serious. Here it is in 2025. People don't have water in their homes, and that is a basic necessity. So we have to really do something to get that straightened out so people could be safe in their homes instead of having to go to get water in the middle of the at night. And there is the possibility of someone being hurt. And I, of course, extend my sympathy to that family who has lost a relative just trying to get water from the pump. Go ahead, Mr. Producer. You could put the tape on.
Next frontier for reforms that our country desperately needs as we rid ourselves of the broken systems of the past that have held our people back. We want Bahamians to not just own a piece of the pie. We want Bahamians to own a majority of the pie in the Bahamas. This is the land of our birth, and we should all feel empowered to be owners in this country. And we shouldn't have to be rich or well-connected for ownership to be a reality. This is the future we have been fighting for from day one. Land reform must be a part of this fight. Our people deserve nothing less than a system that supports their dreams. Unfortunately, a significant portion of land throughout our archipelago lacks a clear title. There are numerous cases where generational property has been passed down with conflicting claims or without official records. There are too many cases in our courts where each claimant claims to have valid but conflicting documentation. Sometimes multiple people claim the same piece of land, and each party truly believes the land is theirs. Each party believes that the land is truly theirs. Today, with the Registered Land Bill 2025 and the Land Adjudication Bill 2025, we are taking meaningful steps, fixing what's broken with the way we register land and handle land disputes in our nation.
I'm going to let these two gentlemen comment on that first, then I'll have my comment. Brother Hyler, what do you say?
Professor, going back to 1973, land registry legislation was put together but not carried out from the inception of this nation.
Okay.
There's documentation that's not ratified, not made its way to an act. So the question is, if you were working on this from 1973, why did successive governments not protect the Bahamian people by being more responsible, by being more thorough and comprehensive? The reason why I say thorough and comprehensive, Professor, we're talking about land. Consult with the people who own the land, as well as the real estate agents and the banks.
Yes.
When this government had their consultation at Breezes Hotel, I believe that's where it was, or one of the hotels out there in Cable Beach.
Yes.
Who was in that room? That's what I'm asking. When the Prime Minister and the group that had their consultation sat in the hotel, was the people from Baintown in the room? Was the people from St. Barnabas and Engliston, the mom and pop? Who was in the room? Because the room was kind of small too. It wasn't even like a whole ballroom where you could say, okay, 1,000 or 2,000 people. Did you send a notice out to the public to say the Prime Minister and his team for land reform are dealing with land issues? Come on out. Did you send that over ZNS so that everybody in the community could come out? Because we should have been in the Kendall Isaac Gymnasium for this. That's my view on who all should have been involved. I saw a lot of nice suits and ties and very beautiful dresses. and cocktails and in the room is very, is very nice setting. I'm saying it did not seem like it involved all of the people from the inner city and the community to break down so they understand what is happening. I'm very concerned about this bill. And if the people choose to not support the two major parties, I believe the smaller groups will make sure that whatever they do is repealed and is more comprehensive. Professor, before Cartwright speaks, there was I'll just make this comment and then we go to the caller. There was an anonymous lawyer wrote a letter to the editor concerned about this legislation, and the letter is entitled, "Is it a land registry or land grab?"
Okay.
But after the
All right,
caller,
okay.
we could go further.
I'll call you live on air. Go ahead, please.
Gentlemen, Mr. Cartwright,
Yes, sir.
what's your first name?
Richard.
Okay, I was thinking you was the member of parliament for
Is
St.
that-
Barnabas.
No, that's
But
my cousin.
Okay,
He said
fine,
that's his cousin.
fine. Well, I had to call back because you just played the clip with the Prime Minister. This is me who said I am, childhood friend with
Understood.
Trinidad, and like I said, we played on John Todd's basketball team along with who is now Dr. Christopher Baisden, and the director of Bahamas BAIC now, my lifelong friend. All of us we went to primary school together, Mr. Robert Cox, you see. And, like I said, that program, I don't like how it did not, and it should still be in place. You know what I mean?
Okay.
This is the summer to take these guns out of these children's hands.
Understood.
And Professor should be honored as a national hero because a lot of people got their start and went off to college and all the rest of that. So you're missing. I'm giving him his accolades. You see what I'm saying? And now in reference to the clip you played with the Prime Minister, I want to share this with you all. Like someone asked if it's a land grab. We have to watch it because my property is personally, we're not talking about one little piece of property here. I'm talking 23 acres, 700 foot of beachfront property in Crooked Island. You know what I mean? And in the same context where agreements was asked for us to be signed for Pittstown in Crooked Island to extend their runway that was there since 1975. It was signed by 14 landowners, and the agreements were never no good because when I say void ab initio, under the International Persons Land Holdings Act, they never had approval, from the investment board. And we signed documents, we signed these agreements with them, but like the Bahamas Nationality Act, if they didn't get approval under Section 2 of the Act, Section 3.1 said it's void, it's null and void and without effect for all purposes of law. Now, they never got that, so everything fell away. Also, they came to court under false pretense with the document signed by the 14 landowners that was never no good. And that says, the documents could have never been recorded. It never was stamped under Section 18 of the Stamp Act, and it makes it inadmissible evidence under Section 98 and 105 of the Evidence Act. Also, when I wrote to this present administration on the 14th of November, 2022, 2 years, 8 months, and the day make 4 days, right? I sent it out to them. They never responded. In fact, what happened with them, this Prime Minister is being disingenuous, him and Chester Cooper, because the permanent secretary at the time told me to write my letter to the director, who's still the director. I don't want to call the good lady's name.
Yes, I understand.
But they would not, she answers to the deputy prime minister. He will not allow her to respond to my letter. Now, his boss is the prime minister, right?
Yeah.
And what happened is I was calling, and year before last, in 2023, when they came up with when they were having the Caribbean meeting at Cable Beach, when they locked up Lincoln Bain and them,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yes.
When they said that someone had called the Prime Minister's office and threatened him on the 8th of February. Well, that's, I mean, a call on the 3rd of February, Friday the 3rd of February. They were accusing me, and it was me that they had picked up that morning. Then homicide detectives picked me up that day and had to let me go. You understand what I'm saying? But the young man, who they later, I don't know what issue with him, may have got caught up in the sensationalized stuff from Kingsway Academy and everything. But the main issue was they were telling me, stop calling the Prime Minister's office, asking about them to respond to my letter, and they haven't responded to this day.
Okay.
I want this nation to know and everybody to know. Tell Philip, Edward, Davis, stop being disingenuous and let your permanent secretary answer the matter.
All right.
So
Thank you, caller, for your contribution. Thank you very much.
You know, Professor,
yeah,
what comes to my mind is what you keep repeating. Caller, yourself, and others who find themselves in such problematic situations, Article 24(1) of the Constitution allows you to organize yourself for the protection of your interests. If it's 2 of you, if it's 4 of you, if it's 10 of you, there are too many Bahamians experiencing this for us not to see 10 persons coming together and say, my 20 acres gone, my 100 acres gone, my 50 acres gone. I'm tired of it. No one is fighting, everybody trying to fight alone or fight one another, brother against sister, cousin against cousin. But no one is fighting the force that is taking away your land.
But you know, Brother Hyler, one of the things that I found out from Land and Survey, and this is something that you have to hold the administration's past and present
plural, yes,
of it, because when I went to Land and Survey and I went to do some checking up on some property my grandfather owned, and the guy said to me, he said, you know, let me see the map. And I showed him the map. He said, you know, property is surveyed. So I said, okay. He said, but back in the day, you did not have to record. If you didn't have sufficient money, you would basically, if you own land, all you had to do was basically people on the islands would have said, shake your hand and said, yes, I know Mr. Hyler owns this whole Elizabeth Avenue, and he also owns Victoria Avenue, and they would have recorded that through a priest or commissioner or someone, and that was basically regarded as a word of truth. When we got into politics, what happened was that a lot of these parliamentarians of the past, the parliament of the past, said, okay, we'd allow it to happen. But they did not went and put it on record, made it a law where you had to basically, we can record this. Then you found that some of the lands that we recorded and some wasn't. And so what they did was they allowed people who didn't know no better to say, you know what? If you record some of your land, which they should have said, if you record any land you want, you record all. But what they did was they said, no, man, I know you bought it from Professor. You ain't got to worry about it. No one can check for that. And then as time went by, Professor died. His family might not know. Or they said, well, you know, we ain't got to worry about that because we know that's our brother, that's our property. And the government or someone comes along and said, listen, man, I filed in a claim to this property. And because they don't know, they tend to get caught up. And then you see lawyers. And so because I always told people that majority of the land back in the day did belong to the crown. It was granted by the British crown to individuals and they would sell it. The crown would actually sell you land. And persons would then turn around later on and flip that land and sell it again. And so you had, and this is one of the things that I found out when you look at when they do a deed pool or they do a conveyance. They always tell you that every property had one original owner.
Of course.
And when you go to check to see the records of you will get to see who all purchased that land and who all sold it. Where these guys are now going, it's a little bit nervous for me because I don't know if that will be included because the Prime Minister doesn't start talking about moving away from deed. That's like that is one of the biggest things that Bahamians always had.
Yeah, the deed. Yeah,
That deed.
That's correct. Yeah.
And that conveyance was basically, that was
Conveyance.
something to show.
Right.
Exactly.
Now, if you go into where now somebody don't know me or
Right.
don't know us,
Right.
and they get together and say, well, you know what? We believe that person. We don't
Right.
believe you.
Right.
That because when you talk about appeal, isn't going to go too much water for you because now once they decided
Right.
you are at a disadvantage. So I was like,
Exactly.
why can't you strengthen the laws that are on the books
Mm-hmm.
with the deeds and conveyance and said, okay, if you own land and you don't have sufficient money to record, the government will then assist you or provide you with assistance whereby that you sit down with the Bar Association for legal assistance to help you have your stuff recorded. So by doing that, you will still have knowledge of who owned the land,
Yes.
and you can have it recorded.
You know,
And then what I noticed too, he said, well, they was going to allow. And I said, I don't have a problem thereby that if you're going to allow it, I can go and look. Because one thing I find frustrating is that you go to registry and you have them telling you, you can't go and look at the records because you're not a lawyer or a title searcher. And I'm like, but it's mine. I should have the right to go and look to make sure. Because I've seen where now records of properties that my grandfather bought in 1924. And I wasn't paying too much attention. And when I went to lawyers and they did a title search, they said, yeah, man, these good deeds. You got good stuff in your hand. They said, you don't realize that you're a wealthy guy. And I said, no. And then I noticed when I was in Long Island, the dispute between the Adley clan, which I'm a part of, and the gentleman by the name of Danny Shelton with the Tree ABN, with the property, with the Adley clan. What amazed me is that when they presented a map of their property, lo and behold, they showed it was bordered by my grandfather's property and his brother's property. And so they had a map where they said, this is a legal map of the property. So I said, okay, these guys can have a legal map, but then you tell them Bahamians and stuff. And I heard the leader of Thompson talking about, they're talking about whereby that they don't have a problem with foreigners buying land. And I was like, you have to have a cutoff period for foreigners buying land, because if foreigners are allowed to buy land, they will buy up all the land.
All the land, yes.
And Bahamians will have none. And then you will now have a problem where now your so-called crown land, you will be having that being now gobbled up by
yes, that's right.
Bahamians.
Exactly.
And then on top of that, you will no longer have for the future generation.
Right.
And so my thing is this, the legislation should have taken more time and given it more time to discuss with the public.
With the public, yeah.
More consultation.
I certainly agree with that.
And I would agree, but I think it's Dr. Minnis, I think, said that, or Mr. Pindar said that no crown land should be sold to foreigners. And any land in the Bahamas, which is crown land, if it's ever to be sold again by a Bahamian, it should be sold back to another Bahamian. So I can agree with certain things, but certain things I can't agree with.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's a good brother, Cartwright. Now, I listened to what the Prime Minister said. That party has been in the House of Assembly and in the Senate. Next year will make 70 years. 70 consecutive years. They have had representation in the Senate, representation in the Parliament. Well, the Parliament consists of a Majesty the Queen, the Senate, and the House of Assembly, okay? And he just remembered now the things that he is saying. See, I have a problem with the things that he is saying because that particular party has had 70 years to deal with this problem with land. This didn't start yesterday. Where he got all this revelation from about being concerned about the welfare of the people, where did that come from? He's talking as if this just started yesterday. But that party has had 70 years and people have suffered 70 years since they've been there. So what were they doing as it relates to land? where all of this confusion as you talk about people being tied up in the courts and so on. How is it that they have had all that time in and out representing the government, representing the opposition, continuously for 70 years? And here it is in 2025, you just remember to bring about this adjudication system.
Mhm.
What does that tell you about them? See, you can't come and tell me this when I know from hardcore evidence you had 70 years in the House of Assembly and the Senate to deal with this, and you did nothing about it. And 2025, you just come in to talk about this?
On the way out of office.
No, but see, the point is in election years next year. Notice the timing of this.
Yes.
And all of a sudden, he's got all this massive concern about people having to have their rights and be able to share in the land and all this sort of thing. Where did this come from? See, I have a problem with the language that he's using. While I agree it is a problem that needs to be settled. But how come you just remember it now? And this is what the Bahamian people need to understand. Election is next year. Is this an election ploy? Just started right now, and you got two bills in front of the House, and there has been no discussion with the Bahamian people before they brought it to the House. This is a very important issue, which should have been thought out. You have to give people time, because a lot of people don't understand land legislation. And you have the people in confusion because now they are passing it or debating it in the House now. And I heard the MP for West End and Bimini say that he's going to have town meetings. What you having town meetings for? For what?
Like after the fact.
After the fact, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I don't have any input into what they're doing now. All I'm getting is this is what the government intends to do. They're going to set up this system. But I, as a citizen of this country, had no input into what is being discussed in the House right now. I have a problem with that. So I don't want someone to come talking to me as if you, having had 70 consecutive years being in the Senate, being in the House of Assembly, and all of a sudden you just remember in 2025, this problem is there.
Professor,
I have a serious problem with that.
I have a serious problem with it as well. Professor, this to me will only expand on Bahamians losing land in terms of right now. We discussed this before. Even a basic estate being transferred to the next generation.
Yes.
And probated. The first and only thing this government needed to do is if you could get probates in 2 years or less. In America, it's 1 year. 1 year is the time frame to get a probate and to get property transferred from one generation to the next.
Yeah.
In the Bahamas, it could be 5 years. Your situation was different and very quick. You did well, Professor. Bahamians out there are not experiencing the same thing. 5 years, 10 years, 15 years,
That's too long.
and still no resolution. So the concern here, even as we come off of the air today, the concern is that even though the Prime Minister said that this will bring justice, one particular lawyer said, ironically, it could do the opposite because you have government representatives who could come and make a final determination on your land, just coming to your home with a team of advisors and surveyors. They don't know what you pay and who you pay, but the team coming to sit down and they are going to determine whether you own the home you were sleeping in for 20 years.
That puts you at a terrible disadvantage.
Now, we can leave it at that. We could dig into it later,
Yeah,
Professor.
Brother Cartwright?
Well, I agree with everything that Brother Hyla had stated. And so I would leave it right there.
Okay. All right. This has been Professor Sidney MacArthur Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network. I think this is the last part of the show, eh? But I didn't even get
Yeah,
that.
this is the end of the
Yeah.
show. So we'll see them next week. God spare life.
Next week, God spare your life. And Bahamians, be very careful over the weekend. make sure, pray about these problems because we're going to need God's divine intervention. And we want you to be safe. And those who have to go get water, please don't do it in the nighttime. Try and do it in the daytime, where you would have better safety, at least during the daytime. Let's say you should be safe. This is Professor Sidney Mercado, Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network, 99.5 FM. Have a pleasant weekend.